Hi, and welcome to Cooking with Chef Zim. Today we're going to be making a healthy version of everyone's classic Italian favorite, spaghetti and meatballs. In today's world, there's a desire to avoid unhealthy processed food and a need to accommodate for allergies or intolerances. Today's dish is completely homemade with a few simple steps and the freshest of ingredients. The items to my left are pre-packaged processed foods with additives such as sugar, sodium, and preservatives. The items to my right are whole, natural, clean ingredients found mostly in the produce section of your local grocery store. The very first thing we need to do is prepare our pasta dough. It needs to rest for 45 minutes to let the gluten relax, so we're going to mix it and set it aside. What we'll need is 2 cups of flour, 3 eggs, and half teaspoon of salt. Sift the salt and flour together and mix well. Pour it into a larger bowl to make forming your dough easier. Make a well in the center of the flour mixture and crack the eggs directly into the well. Slowly whisk the eggs and begin to incorporate the flour. This is to ensure everything is mixed evenly. Once your mixture begins to look like dough, remove it from the bowl and use your hands to knead until it is a firmer consistency. If your mix becomes too wet or sticky, add a bit more flour. If it's too dry, add a few drops of water. Now let's put this in a bowl and set it aside for 45 minutes. Now that our dough is prepped and resting, let's start on our sauce. We will need 2 cloves of minced garlic, 1 can of crushed tomatoes, 1 can of pureed tomatoes, a can of tomato paste, and 1 small onion. Begin by chopping up your small onion. Next, ignite your stove onto medium heat and drizzle in about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Once it's hot, carefully pour the onions into the pot and cook for about 1 to 2 minutes until translucent. Add your can of tomato paste into the pot and fill the empty can with water, also adding that to the pot. Stir well until everything is mixed together. Use a garlic press to mince your cloves of garlic and add your cans of crushed and pureed tomatoes and mix well. Add 1 teaspoon each of onion powder, parsley, oregano, garlic powder, and stir well. You want your sauce to simmer for at least 45 minutes, but the longer it cooks, the better the flavors will marry. Add salt and pepper to taste. Now that our sauce is simmering, or should I say zimmering, we're going to start on our meatballs. The ingredients you will need is a pound of meat. I use a mixture of lean beef and pork, half a cup of breadcrumbs, half of an onion minced, 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese, 1 egg beaten, and 2 cloves of garlic minced. The first step is preheating your oven to 425 degrees. With the ground meat in a large bowl, add the beaten egg, the breadcrumbs, the diced onion, and the grated Parmesan cheese. Mince the garlic directly into the bowl and finish it off with a drizzle of olive oil. Mix it all together. Begin by taking a handful of your mixture and rolling it to form your meatballs. You want them to be about the size of a golf ball. This recipe will yield about 24 meatballs. Now these will go into the oven for about 10 to 12 minutes. While our meatballs are cooking, let's roll out our pasta. The dough is easier to manage if you cut it into quarters. Start on the widest setting of your industrial mixer and begin feeding the dough. Once your dough has gone through the highest setting, turn it to the next setting and roll again. You will repeat this process 3 times. Now we're going to switch our roller attachment to our spaghetti attachment. Spaghetti noodles are very thin, and because the dough is fresh, it could stick together. Sprinkle a bit of cornstarch onto your freshly cut spaghetti to prevent from sticking. Fresh spaghetti noodles do not take as long to cook as processed spaghetti. You will only need to cook for 2 to 3 minutes. While they are boiling, take your meatballs out of the oven and place onto a pot holder. When the spaghetti is done cooking, drain the water and return your pasta to the pot. Adding a spoonful of sauce to the noodles will prevent them from sticking together. You can add the amount of sauce to your liking. It's time to put everything together. Here is our finished traditional product. Now, to accommodate for a gluten-free or carb-friendly diet, zoodles are the perfect substitute. After you cut the ends off of your zucchini, use a spiralizer to make noodles out of the vegetable. The zoodles do not need to be cooked, but you should heat them up in a frying pan with a teaspoon of olive oil, just to get them a bit softer. Let's add the finishing touches. Bon appetit!